Plate carriers versus chest rigs. Let's get into it. Hello, this is no one in particular, and I'm here to give you a comprehensive pros and cons list between whether you should run a plate carrier or a chest rig for airsoft. I'm going to start with a plate carrier. A plate carrier is very recognizable because of how often they're used in the real steel community, whether it be military, law enforcement, or military contracting, or just an armed citizen willing to defend themselves. A plate carrier, it can be really handy if you want to add as much stuff to it as possible, due to how much MOLLE is on it, how much storage space there is on it, how much stuff you can add to it, how much Velcro, how much MOLLE, how many straps there are, how many clamps there are to add possible chest rigs, because they're like, you can get chest rigs such as the JPC 2.0, where you can throw an actual chest rig on your plate carrier. That being said, a lot of times much larger plate carriers would rather be built for larger people or just a more sizable plate carrier, such as an IOTV or something similar to that, despite the fact that it's not an actual plate carrier, but something that's similar kind of build and shape. You can add a lot more stuff than if you were to get a JPC 1.0, despite the fact they're extremely skeletonized. Or even the T-Rex Arms ACR1. I think that's pronunciation. So, to start off, the plate carrier is very recognizable and it is a very good piece of kit. However, they do make a lot of cheap brands out there that will have a super cool looking guy in the Amazon photo and it only costs 20 bucks and it's a bargain. Notice when it comes especially to gear like a plate carrier, you do get what you pay for. So if you pay the 210, 220 bucks for a brand new JPC 1.0, you'll get a lot more use out of that than if you were gonna buy some cheap Amazon plate carrier. However, you don't necessarily need to start off with airsoft and immediately spend $300 on a plate carrier. You just still have to buy a gun. That being said, a plate carrier, while it's extremely useful for a lot of not XL and below males, they aren't exactly the most comfortable whenever it comes to female use or somebody who has a larger build. That being said, that's when a chest rig would provide more comfort to somebody who might have larger features. Another pro for a plate carrier is how much stuff you can actually add to it. So you can either add a back panel, you can put extra mags on the sides, you can fill this entire front part with mags, you can fill it with an admin panel, you can fill it with grenade pouches galore, you can fill it with smokes galore. There's a lot of stuff you can do to make it as high speed, low drag, or as low speed, high drag as possible, as you want. A plate carrier is specifically made to cover up your rib cage. So whenever you do wear a plate carrier, you want to make sure that that the top of the plate carrier is at that little ditch where your collarbone is, rather it be on that little divot in your neck, or it's at most 2 fingers below. It is not a belly protector, it is not a neck protector. It is a plate carrier made to protect your heart and your lungs. That being said, like I said before, if you're a female or you have someone, or if you're a guy with a slightly larger build, however way you want to pronounce, however way you want to say it, plate carrier might not be for you. But if you're someone kind of my kind of build, a plate carrier would be perfect for you. However, that being said, plate carriers can become very cumbersome and they can become very hot. A lot of mil simmers use a plate carrier because of how often they are used in the military, as I said before. However, I would much rather run a plate carrier if I was in the middle of June in Nevada, and I would much rather run a plate carrier if I was in the middle of November in Nebraska. The plate carriers can get very, very hot very, very quickly. And you want to make sure that you have set up your gear, whether it be plate carrier, chest rig, battle belt, whatever, to the conditions you're playing in. Because despite however cool your gear looks, Mother Nature is not really going to care. Moving on to the chest rig, this is my Emerson Microfight. This is what I've been using recently. I've been using this for about 6-7 months now, and I really enjoy it. I have ran plate carriers for airsoft in the past. I've also ran them for my work as security forces, and I much rather prefer a chest rig for airsoft. Chest rigs are very, very lightweight, and if you're also a man or a woman with a slightly larger build, whichever way that may swing. Plate carriers are extremely good for that. Also, like I mentioned before, they are extremely breathable since they are lightweight and there's not a whole lot of coverage. Plate carriers, while they do provide a lot more protection, chest rigs do the opposite. They allow you to move faster, they're a lot more lightweight, and they do allow more of a low profile kind of look if that's what you're going for. Plate chest rigs do not have the ability to mount up a whole lot of stuff, but what you can mount is very specialized. So you almost have to pick, you have to be a little more picky what you want to pick on what you want to put on a chest rig than what you want on a plate carrier, since plate carriers have a lot more space to put anything and everything. Chest rigs are also provide less protection from BB hits, and there's no way, if you want to put armor on a chest rig, you're going to have to put a plate carrier, and then you have to put a chest rig on top of a plate carrier. So a chest rig is really good if you don't really care about protection from BB hits. As I said before, chest rigs, you can't really carry as much stuff. So as you can see here, I have mounted a Viper charger pack, which is a Haley Strategic Flat Pack Replo, to the chest rig with just some different buckles, and it is extremely low profile. Like I said before in my loadout video, I'm running a double pistol mag pouch and a quad SMG insert, and that's pretty much all I can carry. I have the expander wings for a radio, and I have a dangler pouch for smokes, grenades, stuff like that, but that is pretty much all I can carry. Of course, I can always carry something in the back. However, that would mean that it's more cumbersome in the back, and I could possibly have it start lifting up. The way you want to fit a chest rig is you want to take the top line of the actual fabric from the chest rig, and you want to put it at your nipple line or about an inch at the most above. So about right here for me, because it is not a belly rig and it is not a neck rig, it is a chest rig, and it should be worn at the chest, or else it would just be extremely uncomfortable and it would look kind of off if that's really what you're going for. Chest rigs are really good because, as I mentioned before, they are lightweight, and however, a lot of chest rigs nowadays are becoming more and more modular. So you can get something like what the Speaky B has in their chest rig, where it's just a piece of Velcro over the cross of your chest and just straps coming off of it, or you can even get something like the HSGI chest rig, where it's just a molly. I think it's like 5 molly across, and that's it. That's an extremely micro, low profile, very high speed, low drag kind of setup. Whenever it comes to the same thing, whenever it comes to the HSGI bank robber. However, if you look at something like the Haley Strategic DC3R, I think that's what it is. That is a very standard kind of chest rig. There's not a whole lot of room for customization. The pouches there are there, and they're not possible. There's not a possibility to just take an insert out and swap it to hold AK mags. If that makes sense. Now, when it comes to if you want to rather pick a chest rig or a plate carrier, it's really up to you. What I mean by when it's really up to you, it really depends on the field you're playing at, the type of player you are, so like your play style. Are you a very, very go, go, go kind of guy you're gonna like, or are you almost like, I'll just sit in the back and take pop shots? It's really up to you. There's nothing wrong with any one style of play. Also, weather needs to be taken into account. So if you play in a primarily hot place, that's primarily hot, or rather be like California, a chest rig might not be a bad idea compared to a plate carrier, where it gets very, very hot very, very fast, even if they are ventilated, because it does get a lot heavier a lot faster. So yeah, it's really up to you. Thanks.